Welcome back to Channel KRT, the podcast where we take a look at the best and worst of obscure media. I'm Donk Kit Quinn Kong, whatever.
And I'm Ran K Rule, I guess. I don't know.
Channel KRT. Channel KRT is here. I'm Tyler Green. Hi.
Gotta get it back, take it back, the obscure media. Gotta get it back, gotta take it back, take it back. Anyway.
These songs will never leave your head, by the way. You're welcome.
Exactly.
All right, so let's bring in our wonderful guests today. First off, you know them as the creator of Real-Time Fandub and the host of Mystery Shack Look Back. Please welcome to the show, Charley Marlowe.
Woo!
Those were accurate things about me. Good job.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
We try to aim for accuracy.
Also the creator of the superior version of this movie, the stage version made for MagFest.
Yes.
Thank you.
Which we shall get into in a second. And fourth, projecting himself from the Crystal Coconut, you also know him from Real-Time Fandub. Please welcome Ray.
Hi.
Woo!
I also want to point out, I was on the Escape from Walt Disney about Once Upon a Time, which is now a fan favorite episode. And I was brought in as the resident expert. Most of my best jokes there were just me quoting Ray, such as Jiminy Man.
Oh yeah, Jiminy Man.
Did we tell you about the troll eggs?
Oh, God.
I haven't told you guys anything. I haven't even brought up the troll egg. No, the dwarf eggs. The dwarf eggs.
You haven't brought off the dwarf eggs yet.
So far.
And there are no dwarf eggs in this very topic.
There are some discrepancies between mammals and eggs, though.
Yes.
There might be some gorilla eggs here.
Or a reptile live birth.
Oh, God.
So today we are talking about the Donkey Kong Country TV show, more specifically, a direct-to-VHS movie, quote-unquote, called Legend of the Crystal Coconut, which Charley and Ray have a very interesting relationship with, if you guys want to go into that.
Sure. Yeah, so the TV show is like a little before my time. I don't know where it aired in America.
It aired on Fox Family.
I never saw it on Fox Family. It was a Canadian and French co-production, was what I was about to say. But yeah, I didn't know there was a TV show. And this film, quote unquote, was advertised as if the TV show never existed. It was like,
it's the first feature-length 3D animated adventure based on the enormously popular Nintendo game that took an entire generation by storm.
and it was like 4 episodes of a show that had already aired, and that's just not mentioned in the commercials for it at all. This came out in 1999, right?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
I was 6. I discovered it from some ad on a VHS I had, I think.
Which is weird, too, because Paramount put this out. I don't exactly expect Paramount to be collabing with Nintendo.
I don't understand why this is just still allowed to be on YouTube. Usually Paramount is the stingiest with that. I guess they just don't want to acknowledge they had any part of this.
There's actually a separate channel that's owned by apparently Nelvana that's allowed to upload Fairly Odd Parents episodes.
Nelvana has officially uploaded every episode of this show as well. I do not recommend watching it in HD. Watch it in the VHS rips, please.
Yes.
My eyes!
Oh, you like Nelvana? Name 3 of their songs, then.
We can now.
This movie certainly smells like Nelvana. So, yeah, I watched it when I was 6, and I didn't know it was a TV show. I just remember, here's one of the parts where you think the movie is over, but then they get you. So I knew there was something off with the pacing, even as a 6-year-old. Because when an episode ends, then there's Donkey Kong narration that's like, things were real quiet after that. But then one day, and then another episode starts.
Yeah, there is such a loose thread on how these episodes connect with each other.
To the extent that in the Amnesia episode, they try to remind Donkey Kong of things he's gone through, and it's just like a clip show segment. And one of them is from the next episode of the compilation. So it's like, remember next week?
Something that one part in Spaceballs.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
So I grew up with this. I watched it a lot. I have to say it's probably the second swashbuckling pirate media I was obsessed with after The Great Adventures pirate ship, excellent playset, and pretty good computer game that was based on it.
Oh, nice.
And now that's like, I only wear pirate blouses. So unfortunately, this was potentially formative to me. So when Ray, who I was best friends with in middle school, high school, college, came in and started quoting YouTube poop of it, and I was just like excited to be able to talk about this thing that no one else seemed to know existed.
Yeah.
Okay, so that YouTube poop was uploaded 16 years ago by Barnabas B. This YouTube poop is of the VHS rip of Donkey Kong Country Legend of the Crystal Coconut movie. And it's also during like the hype for Smash Brothers Brawl coming out. So they keep replacing the Crystal Coconut with Smash Brothers Brawl and talking about how powerful and mysterious it is. Smash Brothers Brawl took my pain away.
That was the equivalent of when YouTube poops would reference like Avengers Endgame and such back then.
Well, yeah, exactly. Although much earlier.
When I was 12 years old and I first discovered these, and it was 2008, I was kind of upset that Bush was leaving because then I knew YouTube poops wouldn't be as funny.
This is the George Bush of Nintendo movies.
I'll say this much for animated monkey movies on this podcast. This was at least better than The Mighty Kong, the musical.
Was the Kong mightier, though? He does have quite a powerful banana slamma move.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm all over the place here, but during one of the songs he sings, "Give up my autograph picture of my idol King Kong," and also sings, "Could be my planet of the apes, trading cards." Do those movies have opposite meanings in his world?
Yes,
Like,
they do.
Yeah.
King Kong is about a normal person thrust into a world of crazy aliens that torture him, and Planet of the Apes is a horror movie about these mysterious invaders destroying a city.
Take your stinking hands off me, you damn dirty human!
He can talk. He can
He can
talk.
talk.
He
He
can
can-
talk.
Dr. Zayas.
If we're talking about Donkey Kong Country TV show / movie, he sure can fucking sing, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So one thing about, whoever does Donkey Kong's singing voice is that they're totally selling these songs that would probably suck otherwise without the singing, because they really nail it.
I don't think so, because Scurvy's voice actor isn't the most talented vocalist, and his songs go fucking hard.
They
They
do.
do.
Because I just want to point out to you guys this lyric, because the lyrics are actually good.
If you want a job with all the riches you can stand, and all of the security of a great pension plan, then come aboard!
All of this in a fucking Donkey Kong cartoon.
It's one that uses like weird motion capture.
Yeah, so all of the motion capture was done in France, and I don't know if they understand the dialogue. I think it was recorded in English first. I'm unclear on that with a lot of these Canadian shows, but
Yeah.
I think the reason they're just waggling around randomly is because they have no idea what the voice actors are saying, except K-Rool. K-Rool's mocap actor is like the best one there. He's still doing
Absolutely.
way too much, but...
It's hard to explain just with how clunky the CGI would get at times. It was like kind of like watching stop motion.
Yeah, I think the reason the mocap actors are doing way too much on every line, like literally dancing every time they say anything, is because if these character models stand still for 2 frames, you will stop watching. One time, Ray and I were watching it with her little brother in the room who is nonverbal, and he started crying, and we were like, yeah, well, that's a valid reaction.
Yeah.
It really is.
That happened once.
And like, we do not blame him at all.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You were also like, you would not last a minute in the asylum where they raised me, and we thinking about JJ the Jet Plane's human face.
I don't know
Oh,
why
Jesus.
I loved that show as a kid. I
I
really
did
don't.
too. For some reason, that never unsettled me, that damn show, which was basically Thomas the Tank Engine with planes, except done horribly, horribly wrong. Another thing I was thinking about earlier today, too, is that it's amazing with all the Super Mario cartoons that corresponded with the video games of their eras. We never got a Super Mario 64 cartoon in CGI.
Like I said, all of these Nintendo cartoons were Canadian. On the Super Mario Bros. Super Show podcast, as it was formerly known, now the Hard Drive podcast, they brought on Toad's voice actor, and they asked him, like, so how much communication was there with Nintendo? And he said, none, which means...
Fuck, and I cannot stress this enough, all.
They bought the license, and then Radio Silence were allowed to do whatever they want with these IPs, which is crazy to me. And I think the Mario movie put a stop to that, because Canadian TV shows, you weren't going to get word of how they were received in Japan, but like major motion pictures, they saw the bad reviews. And I think it's why, like, there was Kirby, there was Pokemon, there was F-Zero, but those were produced in Japan where they could keep a close eye on production. I love Donkey Kong Country, Legend of the Crystal Coconut, and all related Canadian Nintendo properties because these are the biggest IPs in the world. I think more people recognize Mario than Mickey Mouse nowadays. And like, it's so funny to me that there was a point where Nintendo would just sell these licenses to random Canadians and go, all right, have fun, and then never talk to them.
Yeah. Nintendo is either way too protective of their IPs or not protective enough.
Yeah, and they are so obscenely protective of their IPs now that it's fun to go back to movies like this and revisit when they just let whoever do whatever. Like, Donkey Kong is their flagship character. That is the name of the video game that they got famous with.
Ironically enough, there was a Donkey Kong cartoon like based off the original arcade game.
Mm-hmm. On Saturday Supercade.
Donkey Kong actually got IP handed over twice.
Donkey Kong gets passed around like a party with a butt like that. I'm sorry, can we talk about his fucking butt on the 3D model?
That dump trunk ass.
Why is he so fucking ripped?
I know the reason. The reason is that his legs are basically separate models, only just kind of overlapping with his body. And so there's not some weird clipping. It's spherical at the top. That is the reason. Just because I know the reason doesn't make it any less weird that I can slap it once.
I spank it once.
So the whole reason he is so bootylicious is just because that's how they built the legs.
Also, I'm looking it up right now. Apparently, Sterling Jarvis, who is the singing double for Donkey Kong on the show, so he actually sung the theme song to fucking Zaboomafoo.
That's
Holy
amazing.
shit!
Yeah, I know.
He also does a singing voice in OKKO, literally just as a reference to this.
Yeah.
Yo,
What?
that's awesome.
Yeah, they got him specifically because of Donkey Kong to do a singing voice for one of the characters because they wanted a gag where, like, someone sings and it's uncharacteristically beautiful.
I'm a good guy, you're a bad one. I know that's your role. To my surprise, I see that you've been programmed with a soul.
That show got everyone.
They got Jim Cummings as the villain specifically because of Sonic's That I Am, yeah.
That's right. And they also had the girls from Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. They had
That's right.
They had Astro Boy.
Fucking Golly Gopher and Reanimated. He had a cameo on it.
and Garnet.
And Steven!
Yay!
Steven.
They even had fucking Moxie on there.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry. I saw you guys had a lot of notes because I think all of you watched this for the first time. Ray and I didn't do any notes because we've lived this. I mean, literally, figuratively, but also literally.
Hell yeah.
You astral projected into the characters at several points in your lives.
Don't tell the TikTok shifters that it's real. They'll be even more
God.
insufferable.
So I remember when this show was a meme all over Tumblr, like way back in 2014, 2015. Like, holy shit. I had this show on my TL at least once a day back then. And
Oh, me too. Me too.
I had a popular post from this show at that time where
nice.
it's just a video of the characters laughing for like 2 minutes straight.
Oh,
And
God.
I titled it, When You Make It Funny Joke with a Friends.mp4.
That was the equivalent of the One Direction laughing sound back then.
Yeah.
I remember also that's how I discovered the round and around in a fancy car and round and around in a fancy car meme.
For me, it was him singing about showering a woman in coconut cream pies.
I'd shower you with coconut cream pies.
Did they not know that that word had another definition, or are they all Frank Reynolds?
I was just about to make that fucking joke too.
This was the era where you could actually put double entendres in kids' cartoons, and people wouldn't call you a child groomer for it.
Or swears.
Yeah.
Like,
and there is a really good one in this episode that I'm
Scurvy says,
Me great-great-great-grandpappy, may he rot in hell.
fucking metal.
Yeah, this is based on Donkey Kong. They said he's one hell of a guy.
in the DK rap, I know that this franchise introduced so many children to the word hell.
Oh, I already knew the word, but I was just like, oh my god, they said it in my video game.
Also, nothing about this made sense, and I don't know why I thought it was the case, but for the longest time, I thought Candy Kong was just a redesign of Pauline. Don't ask how.
Do you guys know who voices Candy Kong in the show?
She is the singing voice for Sonya in Sonic Underground.
Not only that, but she's also was that kangaroo from Zoobly Zoo.
Holy
Amazing.
fucking shit.
Because Vancouver has such a small pool of voiceover talent, and Canada made all of these Nintendo cartoons, you have Candy Kong is Sonya's singing voice from Sonic Underground. I think Sonya is her name. Every character pronounces it differently. And you have Diddy Kong is obviously, you can hear it, Yoshi from the Super Mario World cartoon.
Yeah.
That's right.
Slash the Mama Luigi YouTube poops.
Yoshi think Luigi Mama.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it was so funny.
And Crusha, the duh idiot minion to King K. Rool, is Len Carlson, Ganon from the Zelda cartoon.
Oh my god.
Holy fuck. So it's a whole Nintendo cinematic universe.
I mean, that's just, if you watch something that's voiced or made in Vancouver, you're going to see a lot of the same faces.
It's official. This Donkey Kong is canonically the exact same Donkey Kong from Saturday Supercade.
Huzzah.
No, it's gotta be Cranky Kong, because Saturday Supercade is based
that's
on
right.
the NES games. Yeah.
Yep, you're right. Well, the arcade, the original arcade. Saturday Supercade was 83. That was before
before the NES. Oh, wow.
Was the NES made earlier, or was it like across the board 85? I forget.
The Famicom was out in 83 in Japan, but
Right.
the NES came out in 85 in the US.
Yeah, this movie, well, if it can even be called a movie, I think I liked half of it.
Yeah, it's like, it's going up to you and going, I'm a movie, and you're like, sure.
If this were like a 45-minute special, they could have easily smushed these episodes together, but no, it's like...
It's Tarzan and Jane. It's like how Tarzan and Jane calls itself a sequel to Tarzan, and it's literally just a Tarzan TV show.
Yeah.
Do you think they saw Disney selling their TV episodes as movies and were like, we've got to get rid of these Donkey Kong titles that are just burning a hole through our archives somehow?
And then, do you think Seth MacFarlane saw the Donkey Kong one and thought, I can make a Stewie Griffin movie based on this?
I think the Stewie Griffin movie is exactly like the Donkey Kong movie. I think that's the perfect comparison. You've watched one, you've watched the other. / sarcasm.
Where's the part where Donkey Kong meets his younger self?
That would be good. What did you all enjoy from this / what baffled you and scared you and confused you?
I think, funny enough, the first 2 episodes actually worked for me.
Which were, which ones?
The first one, the Legend of the Crystal Coconut one, then the second Bugaboo one.
The Bugaboo is the one with the banana phone?
Yeah, the one where they trick them into thinking there's a bog monster, basically.
And yes, I did bite my tongue on making a Raffi joke, and I'm still biting my tongue right now.
Raffi did it first.
Ring.
Banana phone.
So yeah, in the YouTube poop that we discovered this with, that Ray discovered this with, every time they say banana phone, they replace it with a clip of Raffi.
Yes.
Do you guys remember the Newgrounds clip of the guy who gets banana phone stuck in his head and he just goes fucking insane?
Sort of. I've watched the aftermath of it becoming a meme. I didn't see that specific Newgrounds clip.
Oh, it's great.
But yeah, the Bog Monster song is like permanent mainstay on my Halloween playlist. It like, I can still, not looking up lyrics or anything, in the forbidden forest lurks a monster and you'll see him, like, it's permanently in there. It's so good.
I know they couldn't because, right stuff and all that, but I'm genuinely surprised that with the ghosts that were swirling around during that segment, they weren't boos.
Yeah, that would have been neat. Could have been a prequel to Luigi's Mansion, basically.
It's basically the reason that they couldn't show Mickey Mouse in that one Bonkers episode.
The whole premise is that Donkey Kong is the future ruler of Congo Bongo Island, where I think 7 people live, 8 maybe.
And it's mostly these crocodiles who like hate the gorillas anyway. So it's just a constant civil war.
If Donkey Kong is the future ruler of Congo Bongo Island, why is his name King K. Rool? Is that just his name, or
it's gotta be a vanity thing?
Is he king of the Kremlings? Is this literally the Civil War? Are the Kremlings the Confederacy?
He's king of being K. Rool.
Ah.
And why do the crocodiles have nipples while none of the apes do?
So yeah, 2 of the crocodiles, specifically General Clump, whose Foghorn Leghorn voice would lend credence to my Confederacy theory a moment ago. He has nipples. And then Captain Scurvy, which in the game was Captain K. Rool, just the same character, but now he's a new character called Captain Scurvy, and he is literally just the same character model as Clump recolored. And similarly, K. Rool and either Cutlass or Green Croc, I get confused because Scurvy's 2 minions switch which one of them is French and which one of them is Italian every other line.
Yeah.
One of them is K. Rool's character model, which has a belly button. Belly buttons are the result of an umbilical cord, which is the result of live birth. And
that's a sentence.
Yeah, and nipples are part of an organ called mammary, which literally has the word mammal in the name. So I guess it's just like the way they're modeled. Their big empty chests just looked big and empty, so they had to fill it in. So I can't even guess why these decisions were made.
Someone was having way too much fun setting up the models, let's be real.
Absolutely. Going back to Donkey Kong's heavily toned ass.
That means in this world, the mammals are actually the ones that lay eggs and then just sit on them, and when they hatch are like, okay, bye.
So this relates to your recent podcast with Horton.
Yes.
Yes.
And so then we get into the episode where it opens with Dinka. What was his name?
Inka Dinka Doo.
Dinka!
Doo.
Can I say the best line in the entire movie, quote unquote, is
absolutely
Donkey Kong going,
I will be back. You can count on it.
And Inka Dinka Doo saying,
whatever.
That's a mood.
Yes.
It's such a great gag.
So this episode begins with Diddy and Donkey Kong at Cranky's house, and Donkey Kong's just trying to steal a banana cream pie out of his fridge.
banana cream pie.
Ah, don't look that up.
Got any banana cream pies?
Why do they keep using that word in the show?
Why?
Well, that when you want to make coconut or banana into a pie, cream would be the way to do it. I did have a banana cream pie at an event at a video game store once, and I was like, I understand Donkey Kong. I get it now. I've had one, and it was delicious.
I do miss the ones that Popeyes had. Those were delicious.
Friendly reminder that the only video game store near me recently fucking closed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fucking F.
Ray and I, well, I don't live there anymore, but we happen to live near Digital Press, where the first Angry Video Game Nerd Nostalgia Critic fight was filmed.
Oh my
God. Oh my God.
It's near where Ray works.
I don't know how I feel about that, but that's also
Yeah,
amazing.
it's like right
Yeah,
there.
it's so cool.
I also love the gag where Cranky decides to just speed through the story when telling it to them, like, blah, 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 you went.
I don't, because it's like we're tuning in for the first time. We don't know the backstory. So why yada yada through it? Later, Scurvy sings a song, Pirate Scorn, which recaps the story. Basically, Scurvy's great-great-great-grandpappy, may he rot in hell, Quint Scurvy, who gets a first name, unlike his descendant, stole the crystal coconut and then hid it in the eye of Inka Dinka Doo on Congo Bongo Island. And years later, Donkey Kong was just walking by and the coconut popped out of the eye, and somehow this makes Donkey Kong the future ruler of Congo Bongo Island, because that's what the plots of these Canadian Nintendo cartoons are. You hold a thing in your hand and you're ruler somehow. That's also the plot of the Zelda cartoon. Whoever gets both Triforces will rule this land forever.
Yeah.
Man, you seem to know a lot about the Zelda cartoon, don't you?
I'll get to that later as well. Cranky, who hates his grandson, Donkey Kong, somehow is, for reasons that are not quite sure character motivation-wise, is very enthusiastic about his grandson becoming the future ruler. But Captain Scurvy, Quint Scurvy's great-great-great-grandson, believes the crystal coconut is rightfully his because his great-great-great-grandpappy, may he rot in hell, stole it originally. And King K. Rool thinks it's his because King is in his name, so he should be the future ruler. And so there's this big situation of who gets to have the crystal coconut and who gets to be future ruler, and it's never resolved because this is a very episodic show, and they still have to try to treat this like a movie, and it ultimately culminates in something about teeth.
Yeah, the whole running gag with Captain Scurvy's, just molars just fucking killing.
Well, that's the one weird tooth thing.
At the end, they introduce the best character in the whole franchise.
Junior Claptrap shows up out of nowhere and sings a song about how he wants to eat boats but can't because his teeth got stolen by Scurvy.
I got the key, something you can use. If you don't help me, then it looks like we're beat. Someone get my teeth back. I gotta eat.
God, what is this fucking show?
It's something, all right.
It's Donkey Kong.
I think most of the songs are bangers. I think Junior Claptrap's rockabilly / AC/DC style song about wanting to eat boats but having his teeth stolen sucks, and it just kind of, because I think we don't know this character, and it's not a fun voice to hear sing. I like the taste of a pirate ship. That sounded like Cartman.
It's literally fucking nails on a chalkboard. Well, I will say my favorite song in this entire video is the Gotta Give It Back one. It's so funky. It fucks so hard.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like something that would have been in the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack for the game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, David Wise did an excellent job with the Super Nintendo soundtracks. Grant Kirkhope with the Nintendo 64 soundtrack. So I think it's just kind of a rule of Donkey Kong that no matter how good the media is, the songs have to slap.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like same rule as Sonic, except for Sonic Boom. That's the exception. And that one on the DS.
And Sonic Underground.
All right, fair. So I guess Donkey Kong beats Sonic on that one.
Ray, what's your favorite part, though?
Let me think, because there's a lot that goes on and none of it's really related.
No. I mean, we haven't talked about this linearly at all thus far, but how would you?
Exactly.
No,
It's kind of hard. Like you said, we're fucking with the formula tonight, and that's okay.
I mean, it's okay because this isn't even a movie. It's just 4 packaged episodes. Who cares if we're in order?
But as a kid, I believed it to be a movie. They told me it was a movie, and I had nothing else to go off of.
You were lied to by Nelvana.
If this movie, quote unquote, can't follow a fucking narrative, why should we?
Yeah.
Why do I have to follow a narrative? All right, so I like the Bog Monster. I think that was a good song.
The Bog Monster song, I did like that too.
Yeah, the songs are all very good. I like when they sing the songs and they're
Yeah, for me, I really like the Gotta Get It Back, Take It Back song, the Bog
Bass.
Monster song.
Scurvy's songs hold a special place in my heart.
I'll make you swap the deck and then I'll throw you in the brig. I swear I'll make you walk the plank to right the wrong you did. The day you mess with scurvy are you'll wish you never born. When the coconut is mine, then you'll feel this pirate scorn. When the coconut is mine, then you'll feel this pirate scorn.
So I can't even really think of like a favorite part because it's like the thing I was fixated most on this is just the production I'm looking at here. Like
The production I'm looking at is what we call Donkey Kong's fat ass.
yes, that and the motion capture, the weird mouth movements that make it look like Sonic Adventure, and the fact that every freaking circle, anytime there's an orb in this, it is so polygonal it hurts.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying do not watch this in the HD uploads that Nelvana has. But Donkey Kong has like teeth sometimes, and sometimes he doesn't.
Oh, that was fucking jump scary.
Yeah, he sure does have teeth sometimes.
And also, I will say that I kind of have a soft spot for super old looking CGI and for slightly less detailed CGI, but I will say the lack of color in this special at points really showed. Like, there were some parts where I was looking at the backgrounds like, this feels like this should be in Demolition Man or something.
And the weird thing is sometimes there's a moment where there's just a looping animation, like Donkey Kong swinging through trees or running, but then everyone else is moving like the same way a person moves. So it's like, on the one hand, it feels like I'm watching like a really fucked up version of dinosaurs. And then on the other hand, it looks like a PC game from like 1993. And it's, what am I looking at? My God.
You're going to the zoo to look at the monkeys.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And the crocodiles. And for some reason, the crocodiles are mammals now.
Yeah. Also, there's a part where they ask, does Cranky put in his teeth before or after he goes to sleep? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was, does he brush his teeth before or after he takes them out?
Gotcha. Which is like, yeah, you gotta brush your dentures before you put them in. Just saying.
I don't know. I think Diddy Kong has a point because it would certainly be easier if you could hold them at any angle.
That's
like, it's
true.
hard to get those teeth
totally.
in the back there.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Ray has an issue with the taste of toothpaste, unlike the taste of a pirate ship.
Unlike the taste of a pirate ship. That's always good.
Yeah.
I love eating boats. I'm like Junior Claptrap that way. If only I had my teeth, but I took them out before I went to bed, or they got knocked out, so I'm sworn by my pirate. There's a lot of teeth stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Donkey Kong's growing and disappearing teeth.
Also, when I first heard Scurvy's voice, I was amazed he wasn't voiced by either Brian Doyle Murray or Clancy Brown.
I can see it. If this show had a bigger budget and actually reached out to American voice actors, they would have been in the
Well, Brian Doyle Murray was in an episode of Supernatural, which was shot in Vancouver. So they brought him over once. Growing up is realizing he is funnier than his younger brother, Bill.
So then we cut to Scurvy and the pirates, and they find out about the crystal coconut as well, that it was apparently taken, and they're on this whole mission to give it to King K. Rool because...
No. They want it for themselves. King K. Rool wants it for himself also. The pirates, Scurvy believes it to be his birthright because it was his great-great-grandpappy, may he rot in hell, that brought it to Congo Bongo Island originally.
And there's a running gag where he has a toothache the whole time because why not?
Arr, by my honor, arr, by the great pirate oath, arr.
I will say he was actually pretty funny. He was what made these first two episodes for me.
Yeah.
The main idea behind these being the 4 episodes in the compilation is these are the only ones with Captain Scurvy in season 1. Season 2 gets an animation downgrade. They no longer do mocap and they get much shinier models.
Oh dear.
Listening. And there's a weird Christmas episode or Hanukkah episode, maybe. I think they call it the Festival of Lights, where, so I guess they're all Jewish, where Clump and Captain Scurvy realize that they're brothers. But that is the only other episode with Scurvy. Other than that, this is the Scurvy compilation movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So quick question. Is anybody here familiar with the band Ailstorm?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, Lizzie Hale. Lizzie Hale.
Wrong.
Ailstorm did a wonderful cover of Pirate Scorn a couple months after we did a cover of it for a stage musical we did at MagFest. So I'm not saying we inspired them. We should have inspired them. I love Ailstorm, though.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And they even named the album that came from Curse of the Crystal Coconut.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The album was announced before that cover was announced, and that was like a month or two after our panel that album was announced. And we were like, it can't be, but is it? But it can't be. But is it?
Literally the fucking bit from We Sing in Sillyville all over again.
I just looked up season 2, and that was somehow worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unwatchable.
Okay, we talk about how horrifying it is for early CGI. I think it could be worse.
Oh yeah,
it
could be worse. It's still pretty terrible though.
I think like the mocap, as much as they're doing too much, it certainly makes it tolerable movement. Like they do move naturally because those are humans moving, not naturally because they're again moving all the time. But like, there's nothing uncanny about the movements.
Now that you bring up the movements, is that the T-pose in Kremling is not in the movie.
Yeah, there was a T-pose someone had written down, but yeah, there is an episode where you could see the Kremlings all marching together, and they just did not have the resources to animate so many different moving characters. So they're all just T-posing and sliding on the ground like
Oh my god. I literally put T-pose death for so many of the defeats in this movie.
Yeah, so when Donkey Kong gets knocked out and gets amnesia, he T-poses on the ground, and his arm is just completely clipping through the ground. They don't even bother to cover it up or fix it.
Yeah, and it's also during the scene where Clump and Crusher, they end up getting flung into the air, and they're literally doing the T-pose. It's fucking hilarious.
Yep.
And you know what would have made that scene perfect? If it was underscored by Glenn Campbell's Summer Nights.
Yes.
If you know, you know.
Huzzah.
I love that Clump and Crusher are actual characters with personality, but Cutlass and Green Croc are so interchangeable that they keep trading voices.
Yeah.
I wish Cutlass and Green Croc were more of characters.
Was Clump the one who was the military guy?
Yeah, it's General Clump.
He's Clump. He's Clump. He's Clump.
I always forget that he and K. Rool aren't the exact same character. They have such similar energies.
Well, one is British and one is Southern.
There we go.
I love K. Rool in this. It's so distracting to me that he specifically doesn't have a tail.
Yeah.
He is so funny, and he's just constantly like hopping around with each line, and in a way that like actually adds to it. And his delivery is so funny. And he gets one song in this, or two counting Take It Back, but one's sort of solo, where he sings, one of us, and he's like hopping up and down in sped up footage during the chorus. It's like straight up a metal song too.
Can't you see you're one of us? You walk the walk, my brother Croc. Arm in arm, together we're rock.
Yeah, the plot of these first two episodes, I will say though, is really confusing because I genuinely thought they were the exact same episode because the plot between the Crystal Coconut and the Bog Creeks are so similar.
Yeah.
That's why it's a movie.
Yep.
The show is very, very episodic to the extent that there's like this formula that kind of takes place, and it doesn't really work for a compilation movie for that reason, because it's like they tried to steal the coconut this way, but then the next week they tried it again the same way.
Yeah.
We do a Zelda cartoon Abridge series, and there's a line that I love that's said by Castiglione, who's voiced by Doggins, where he says, "I've come up with a new plan, the same one."
Also, you know what? I am officially convinced that the Crystal Coconut is actually a disco ball just based on how it looks, and somehow all these animals are just convinced that it's some magical, like, coconut.
This is the gods must be crazy.
So now all these animals are fighting over a disco ball because they think it's some magic coconut.
The way the coconut looked was actually reminding me a lot of those chocolate oranges. I don't know why.
I do want to eat it.
Wonder Ball.
What?
Oh, Wonder Ball was my shit.
I miss the Wonder Ball.
Yes.
So we were at some point, Ray and some friends and I were on a road trip down to MagFest 2019 because a friend of ours has an Undertale musical and we were participating in the panel, and we were just popping up different like meme songs on the aux cord, and someone pulls up Pirate Rap, the 4Kids intro to One Piece. And I was like, no, you want to talk pirate songs from bad media that mix the shanty genre with another genre seamlessly. And I pulled up Booty Boogie and Pirate Scorn. And Ray said jokingly, so when are we doing the Donkey Kong musical?
I kept on saying that.
And I was like, well, I mean, I guess I'm good at playing pirates. And you've been working with Millie since 2009. And you're very cranky. And she tries to be annoying on purpose. So that would work as Diddy. And I just started to realize all of the stars were aligning with the cast, and I was like, this is weirdly easy to cast. And then I just let that be a weirdly funny in-joke until MagFest. MagFest each year themes itself to a different video game, does their logo in the style of a different classic video game.
Oh, nice.
And they announced that 2020 was going to be their Donkey Kong Country MagFest, themed MagFest. And I was like, well, we can't not do this now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Although I was going to say that a Donkey Kong MagFest is an interesting way to describe how 2020 ended up being.
Yeah.
You guys got lucky.
Yeah, it was like 2020 started so strong for us. There was a certain point at the panel where Ray was like, thank you for this. I've been really depressed. And the crowd started chanting, we love you, Ray.
Oh my.
That was good stuff.
And then 2020 was like, where I was like, this is going to be our year. And then it wasn't.
For me, 2020 was the year I finally met Weird Al, and I thought it would go uphill from there. And then...
I wish this was when Weird Al was in every cartoon. He would have fit right in of the world of weirdly good songs.
Oh my god, yes.
2020, I had lived in Rhode Island for exactly half a year, and I had just found my favorite bar. And then 2020 happened.
Was it the bar from Family Guy?
Oh, I wish.
Did they ever all burst out and sing the Muppet Show theme like in that one Family Guy scene?
Hell yeah.
I wish. I think Quahog is like further out towards Warwick.
Wait, is that the name of a real town? I don't think I ever processed that.
It's not real, and you're not the first person to ask me if it's real too.
Okay, because you said when it was out near, I was like, wait, hang on, it has a geographical implication?
No, but like just based on the fact that they have beaches, an airport, a stadium, I was like, that's
got it. I mean, they also have things that you might need in a sitcom episode, and it might not be due to geography.
Also, when they mentioned Monkey Bar's catalog, I was like, please don't let that be their equivalent of Playboy.
Oh,
no. You know it is.
Also, Donkey Kong mentions the Ape Quarterly, which is a reference to GQ, the Gentleman Quarterly.
Donkey Kong's a gooner?
Yeah, he reads AQ.
The National Ape Choirer.
And since we're talking about the Banana Slamma musical, I think my favorite joke in that is when everybody's trying to jog Donkey Kong's memory, they just straight up fuck with the fourth wall and end up just literally reading episode descriptions off of Wikipedia.
Which were Google translated from French and have weird sentences like, made it disappear with a magic.
It was very good.
I made sure Ray and Millie had not looked at the episode descriptions I had picked beforehand, so you could hear like Ray burst into laughter when she catches one of the weird mistranslations. It's one of them, specifically the one that started, build a time capsule with the people stuff to the moon, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
By the way, I apologize if my notes are kind of all over the place, because this special, I gotta be honest, was a little hard to follow at points.
It was.
So.
It really was. And that's okay.
Yeah. And you know what? That's what they would have wanted.
Listen, they want the crystal coconut.
Do we need a plot more than that? Exactly.
Yeah. And the apes are the good guys because...
I think he's dead, honey.
Also, every time they did the joke where Cranky would just force project himself, I was so expecting them at one point to say, use the coconut, Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Or I'll fucking kill ya.
Why does a coconut allow him to do that? Because it looks like he's a ghost and he's not dead. But yeah, we joked at one point when we watched it. Like, my heart stopped again. Rush back home and resuscitate me. Because why is he a force ghost?
Listen up, Donkey Kong. My wife left me.
But her aim is getting better.
Mm-hmm. He is basically Grunkle Stan, huh?
He sure is.
Yes. Oh my god.
Ray did not like wearing that beard.
No, it was very itchy.
It looks like it. Jesus.
It was.
I forgot if this was the Bugaboo episode or the Crystal Coconut.
It's all
episode.
one movie. We're talking about this as a movie in this podcast. So.
Huzzah! And when they introduce Funky Kong, this is going to sound weird to say because Donkey Kong technically only wears a tie. Why the fuck does Funky Kong look naked?
No, I noticed that too while watching it. And I think part of it is because he does wear clothes in the game. He wears jorts and a tank top.
Yeah.
And part of it is because he's like this Zen mojo hippie with an accent I'm not sure if it's offensive.
Yeah, I hope that wasn't a white person.
It wasn't a white person.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I think we can just kind of accepting him as a nudist is so in character that it's like part of it as well. But yeah, no, he looks naked. It's also because it's Donkey Kong's character model without the tie.
I did
and, like the tie is doing a lot to convince you he's wearing clothes.
Yeah.
And sometimes the tie clips through him.
You mean always?
Yes, always.
Yes, always.
Also, why did Diddy look so cursed when he took off his hat?
Bald.
Yeah.
Bald.
I talked earlier about how K. Rool doesn't have a tail. Diddy has a tail in exactly one of these 4 episodes.
Yeah. Which is weird because he's an actual monkey, so he'd have a tail.
Yeah.
Tails are really hard to animate.
I forgot that Diddy Kong has a tail normally.
But the part where he takes off his hat and stomps it is when he loses a minigame in Donkey Kong Country video games. So it's that's a little reference to the video games, and is the one evidence I have that anyone who worked on this played it.
So I will say my favorite joke in this whole thing is where Funky Kong tries to reason with Scurvy and the pirates, and then he just ends up stuck in the barrel.
That's one of many scenes in which someone ends up stuck in a barrel, and it's definitely for plot reasons and not to make them easier to animate.
Yeah. It's like that episode of Bonkers where Mickey Mouse is in a cage the whole time.
Exactly what it's like.
Ray and I joked on this watch that Funky was going to be in that barrel from now on, so he's easier to animate.
They're not appearing in this cartoon.
Or like Homestar Runner, original bulbs, which is definitely behind that barrel.
Oh god, that's his punishment by Am. He got turned into a barrel for all eternity.
So what kickstarts the conflict for this episode is
the conflict. Excuse me.
Conflict.
Yes, the conflict. So what kicks that off is that Clump and Crusher steal Diddy's banana.
Clump and Crusher are lovers.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Correct.
And you know what? So are King K. Rool and Scurvy.
My favorite line in our musical is when I say just a really over the top piratey line as Scurvy. He shall sail his own ship, however salty winds guide him through the 7 seas, yar. And then K. Rool puts his arm around me and goes, "Baby, do you have to talk like that?" And then I go, "Why I don't know, man. I guess not." And reveal that Scurvy was putting on a fake pirate voice the whole time.
They have such Fox and Valentino energy, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I want the crystal coconut for myself, and then I'll dominate.
So when Donkey Kong tries to figure out how to fuck with Clump and Crusher, he says that he really wants to give them something to listen to. I fully expected it to just cut to him farting into the banana phone.
I was half expecting he was going to pull a Bart and just start fucking with him.
Oh, I thought I'll give them something to really listen to. I don't know what's happening to me. I'm getting up.
Can I borrow a feeling?
I'll give him something to really listen to, and it's his full name, his address, his IP address, his zip code, his town, his city.
So Cranky Kong is the Donkey Kong from the NES game and the arcade game. Now, the Donkey Kong from the NES games and the arcade game had a son named Donkey Kong Jr. That makes this Donkey Kong the third, because we have Donkey Kong Jr., and then we have the original Donkey Kong's grandson named Donkey Kong. So this is Donkey Kong the third. He's also in the Dr. Mario app.
Oh yeah.
So he is a doctor, Dr. Donkey Kong.
And yes, he does have a PhD.
An MD. PhD is academic pursuit. There's a wonderful tweet from Sungwon Cho, ProZD, where it's a screenshot of Dr. Donkey Kong, and he goes, "Can I get a different doctor?" But yeah, so his full name is, of course, Dr. Donkey Kong the third MD.
They didn't go with Dr. Kong? I don't know.
No, but he is Dr. Donkey Kong the third MD.
Wow.
And I like to think Donkey is short for Donkanold.
Yes.
I still love how they came up with that. Just, they were like, well, we gotta have something that kind of sounds like stubborn ape, so,
Miyamoto, who does not speak English, thought that if ass means a stubborn person, that donkey must also mean a stubborn person.
They're gonna blow fire in your face, you fucking donkey!
So technically, his name is supposed to be Ass Kong.
Yeah, and he also assumed that Kong meant gorilla, because if King Kong is not King Gorilla, what else could his name possibly mean? Like, it would be, King Kong's super popular in Japan.
Oh, we can't call him King Kong yet, because the king part is not in the public domain.
Yeah.
Remember.
Actually, no, so there was a famous lawsuit where Universal tried to sue Nintendo over the use of the name Kong for Donkey Kong, and it was a lawyer named Kirby that Kirby wound up being named after as a tribute, who argued, you didn't even make the movie King Kong.
Yeah.
That was RKO Pictures. You just did the remake. Why do you think you own this name?
I still would really like to see what the universe where Donkey Kong ended up being called Jackass Kong looks like.
Yeah, so he is absolutely Jackass Gorilla, and Miyamoto thought that Donkey Kong meant that.
So in a perfect world, he would be voiced by Johnny Knoxville.
Yes.
Hell
Exactly. But also, basically, the reason the Donkey Kong arcade game happened is because they were working with King Studios to acquire the rights to Popeye, and just started working on the game before the deal went through, because they didn't know how long copyright deals took. And the game was fully finished and ready to distribute before they had finalized negotiations. So, like, at the last second, just so they wouldn't lose a profit over making the whole arcade cabinet, changed Popeye to now Jumpman, a very basic description of who Popeye is, who now grabs hammers instead of spinach, and changed Bluto to Lazy Gorilla, a very basic description of who Bluto is.
Okay.
So you say his name was supposed to be Jackass Gorilla. His name was supposed to be Bluto.
Yeah. Now that's a universe I'd like to see, where Nintendo just has a legacy as the guys who make Popeye games.
Well, they made the Popeye game a year later when the rights went through, but like, that was not their heavy hitter, because everyone's like, I don't care about this. Donkey Kong's where it's at. So they accidentally wound up with Mario, an original character that everyone knew.
No, I ain't going in to see no bullfight, because it's in kindness to animals, and besides it's unhuman, and I just tore up the ticket and I can't go in anyway, so there.
I also found it pretty funny when they found out that Funky was still snoring away in the barrel. It would have been so funny if they accidentally just left him there.
It would have been funny if he couldn't breathe in there and then died on screen.
I'm half convinced that was what happened to him.
And then there's Chunky. He's dead.
I want what happened, since he's this chill Jamaican character, I want them to open the barrel and realize he's been hotboxing it this whole time. And he is the highest he has ever been.
Yeah, that's just canon. That's what happened.
Barrels are cannons. Yes, you've played the games too.
I sure did. Coconut guns fire in spurts.
Oh, I want to tell you guys, I did not have play this game on Super Nintendo. I played the Game Boy Color port.
Oh.
So the Super Nintendo graphics are de-resed 3D models.
Yes.
And then those existing sprites, rather than taking the original 3D models, were compressed all the way into 8-bit and made smaller. And the Game Boy Color port looks so bad.
Oh, God.
And that's how I discovered this IP and thought that I wanted to see this movie based on it.
Yeah. And during the scene where K. Rool gets stuck in the mud, I genuinely thought he died during that scene at first because it's the way it was animated.
I think this movie definitely needs more death, more blood.
Yeah. Yes. Creepypasta.
Yep, the Kong jungle takes place at the La Brea Tar Pits. Got it.
Well, where is Congo Bongo Island?
It's gotta be somewhere in Central America, or maybe just off the coast of Japan or something.
Also, in the second episode, we forgot to talk about the line that Donkey Kong says to Cranky, where he says, "Where to, Seaman?"
Oh my God.
Did nobody pick up on that when they were recording this?
Good night, everybody.
If they didn't pick up on showering a woman in coconut cream pies, what makes you think they'd pick this one?
Where to, Seaman?
Not semen. As in jizz. Splooge. Man, bazooka juice.
So we got semen and we got hell name drops. This show has it all, man.
This is a French co-production, so I think children's shows are just allowed to be overtly sexual.
Yay. And so then we get introduced to Candy, aka the one woman in this whole thing.
And her boss, sexual harassment Kong.
We call Bluster her boss, who wants Candy to leave Donkey Kong and date him instead, and she's his employee. We call him sexual harassment Kong.
Yeah, he was giving me Mortimer from House of Mouse vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he talks like this.
That's a spot on impression. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But so they give her a kind of jazzercise Rosie the Riveter type outfit, which is really good compared to she's so sexualized in the game. She's like Britney Spears in the N64 one.
The rest of the characters you unlock via Candy's challenges, an excuse to ogle a monkey. Just go to the zoo.
Which is extra disturbing because I think Britney was still a minor when that game came out. Or she just turned 18 when that game came out.
You mean she worked in the mines on Congo Bongo Island in those minecart levels? But yeah, this is the best design she's ever had. And they give her a job and it's that's awesome. This is great for Candy. Now she's not just the girlfriend. Now she's a working girl with a normal human outfit.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
And then it's but also she has a boss that wants her to leave her boyfriend and date him instead. And it's well, why did you didn't have to write that part? That wasn't in the games. There was no obligation to write that in.
Also, when the Amnesia episode started, I forgot that it was a separate episode at first. So at first I was like, oh, they're introducing a random Amnesia plot, Muppets Take Manhattan style now. Okay.
Well, that was how I had experienced it as a kid when I did not know this was a TV show. I was like, there's an Amnesia plot in 1/4 of this movie.
Wait, so you're telling me that Donkey Kong stole it from those fucking Muppets?
Excuse me, mucking Fuppets. But, so yeah, there's an Amnesia bit where he believes he's a pirate working for Scurvy, and he believes he is working for K. Rool, and they have 2 songs where they try to convince him that he's them. One with a little duck soup mirror routine called Mirror Never Lies, and
which you guys also did in the musical. Fucking slaps.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. That was my big song, but also I want to point out that K. Rool tells him his name is Donkey Rool, and Scurvy tells him his name is Donkey Croc. And in the One of Us song that K. Rool sings about how he's Donkey Rool, he calls him Donkey Croc, not Donkey Rool. We only noticed that when we were rewriting the lyrics for the musical. We were like, wait, this is wrong. This shouldn't be in here.
Production value. Where is it?
I'll be honest, this was the episode I probably tuned the most out of just because I'm not a big fan of Amnesia plots.
Maybe you tuned into it really well, but you just have amnesia.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
It really would have been fucked up if they just spent the last 4 for this movie, just making it a fucking clip show.
They did do a clip show. There was a clip
yes.
show in the Amnesia episode where they recall something that hadn't happened yet in the compilation.
I think that's why I tuned out so much. I was like, oh yeah, it's a clip show. I don't really have to pay attention to this.
Well, but you hadn't seen the show, so it's clips you hadn't seen either way. It could be, you have to think about how I saw this when I was 6 and didn't know this was a TV show. You have to think, if this was a movie, then these are new scenes to me.
Very true. Or they had to do it like that Ed, and Eddie episode where they did a parody of a clip show and it was just entire clips they made up.
That's fantastic. They do that in Community as well. There's also...
And Always Sunny did a clip show episode.
Yes, there's also a wonderful one. The Clerks animated series. The second episode is a clip show of the first episode.
We've sure seen our share of stars for a little convenience store in New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. I'm on a break. Why? There's 2% minimum. I don't care. I'm on a break. Get out of here.
So how do they manage to solve DK's amnesia? By getting him horny, of course.
Yes.
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Oh, they have to hit him over the head. It was the first idea that worked.
Just give him a concussion. The end.
Listen, when you get hit on the head, you get a concussion, and that is the result of your brain bumping against your skull, which can cause all sorts of problems. Amnesia being certainly one of them. Now, the solution to that is to just hit your brain against your skull. Again, a second concussion, you're all good. That's what we've learned from every TV show where someone gets hit on the head and they change personalities or get amnesia or something.
Bonk. Who am I? Bonk. Oh, right. Bonk. Who am I?
And if blood drips down your forehead, that's fine too.
You know what? If you want to give them super memory, what you can do is just keep beating them over and over with a hammer.
It's true. That is absolutely, certainly correct. And in the Batman 60s show, the villain King Tut is a professor of Egyptology who thinks he's King Tut every time he gets hit on the head, and thinks he remembers he's a professor of Egyptology every time he gets hit on the head again. So you got to keep track how many times they've been hit on the head, because it's, if it's an odd number, they're going to be screwed up. But if it's an even number, they're all good.
Also, DK starts acting like SpongeBob in the episode where he's forced to work for the Chum Bucket at one point because he just wants to sit around and eat bananas and drive Scurvy crazy.
Greasy Spoon absolutely feels like it could have been a song from this show.
Absolutely. And I don't know why, but King K. Rool's dance during the same one song made me laugh really hard.
Oh yeah, because it's sped up. Not only is it hopping up and down, but the footage is sped up.
I want to watch this show high. Oh my god.
Me too.
It's very good.
Have we watched it high, Ray? We must have, right?
We must have. We must have.
We did watch the first 2 seasons of Once Upon a Time High, and I gotta tell you, I don't know if weed was invented for Once Upon a Time or Once Upon a Time was invented for weed, because they have such a symbiotic relationship that we can't separate them.
Yes. Oh my god. One quick thing I gotta say about Once Upon a Time. Before the Escape from Walt Disney episode and before hearing your guys' thoughts on it, most of my mitosis through learning about Once Upon a Time was all the boring romance stuff. I did not learn how crazy the plot fucking gets.
Oh, it's wonderful. Please, if you haven't, check out the episode of Escape from Walt Disney where I talked about Once Upon a Time and quoted Ray a lot.
Also, not to be weird, but Lana Parrilla, mommy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No, that's the actress who plays the mayor, Ray.
Yeah, of course.
The queen, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just like the universal understanding, I think.
Hell yeah.
I mean, yes. They put her in all those booby clothes.
They put her in all those girl boss clothes. I think they knew.
And also, when they try to get Candy to seduce DK, it was giving me big grandma, it's me, Anastasia energy.
My favorite line in Anastasia is, "Darling, I'm old."
So in the next episode, when Cranky becomes the most realistic, annoying relative ever, because he acts like such an asshole to both DK and Diddy, and then he's like, why does nobody ever visit me?
I like the episode where Cranky starts ranting about making Congo Bongo great again.
Oh, God. Where was he on January 6th? We gotta know.
But it's Diddy in the red hat.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oof.
I don't think Diddy could read.
That is absolutely true.
Look, Donkey Kong, I'm just saying, I have some economic concerns, and
No.
Know what goes into these vaccines before I take one.
I just want a secure border, Donkey.
Can you do this for the next hour? Can this be the rest of the podcast?
I have so little to say about this last episode, so absolutely.
He wants his teeth back so he can eat boats.
It's the best episode of television. In general.
There are two songs we didn't include in the stage adaptation. One was Booty Boogie, because it's the same song as Pirate Scorn, chord-wise, but doesn't tell the backstory. I love Booty Boogie, but yeah, it just didn't make sense to do both. And the other was Gotta Get My Teeth Back, because that would mean we'd have to introduce a subplot where there's a guy who wants his teeth back because the pirate stole them before he could eat his boat.
Which every show should have, I think.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yes.
At one point in the TV show, Diddy sings a song that called Second Banana, that goes, "A second banana's what I am." We talked about doing a sequel called Banana Slamma, A Second Banana, that has a bunch of the songs we didn't use, including, obviously, Junior Claptrap wanting his teeth back so he can eat a boat.
Oh, there's a note I forgot for the Amnesia episode. When they cut to Yeti finding the banana in his cave, he eats it with the peel. Okay.
Who the fuck does that?
There is weird enough in a 3D model, but in the live action segment of the Mario Brothers cartoon, Bonkers from Yonkers, where Mario gets amnesia, he gets a concussion and believes himself to be a monkey. When they say, "We'll be right back after these scenes from this week's exciting Legend of Zelda," you could see Captain Lou Albano eat the banana peel and drop the banana. I think literally just to try to ruin the take or make Danny Wells laugh, but he doesn't seem to notice.
Oh, God.
Listen, let me tell you, I've been wanting to do an episode where we talk just about the live action Super Mario Super Show bits.
Bring me on for that.
Yes.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
But Bonkers from Yonkers is great because before you realize it's going to be like an Amnesia different personality bit, Mario gets hit on the head and all he can do is scream, and Luigi's like, "Oh geez, I'm gonna call for help." And it's like, hey, this is brutal. Don't show this to children.
Jeez.
Yeah, what the fuck?
The 80s or the 90s, whenever that was filmed.
Yonkers is also nowhere near Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I am just gonna say, you guys, the live action segments are better than the actual cartoon.
Yes.
Yeah,
I have
agree.
so many thoughts about that I can't bring up here, or this will become a podcast about that.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, bonus episode. We're fucking doing it. I'm kidding.
Also, there was another line I forgot. What's worse than a bruised banana? A bruised butt.
Good night, everybody.
That's a line.
Those French people.
You can just tell when Scurvy earlier mentioned "blow me down," he was not just referring to it like that, if you know what I mean.
Oh my.
Well, blow me, Olive. Blow me down.
Well, blow me down. Captain Feather Sword voice.
What if they made them like all completely anatomically correct?
Oh my god.
No.
Oh no.
Also, I did love the part where DK and Diddy go up to Cranky and he refuses to give them the password, so they start doing the Cranky Pokey.
Oh my god.
God, you saying that, I don't know. These Canadian video game cartoons are just all have the same very specific writing where like it's just like stock jokes that they might tell a child if they were forced to interact with them for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like clear they've never played the video games. And I don't know, this is like one of my lifelong special interests is these terrible Canadian TV shows based on video games.
Same.
Yes.
Also, I looked it up. The Cranky Pokey is not on Urban Dictionary.
Boo.
We can change this with your help, listeners.
Only you can make a difference.
Also, during the mine train scene where K. Rool shoots the gun at them, I was actually expecting it to dissolve them instead of just the train, and then it'd be like, the end.
What is in that gun that dissolves things?
A wizard did it.
One of my favorite parts is when K. Rool takes over the sexual harassment Kong's factory to start
building bombs,
but he just starts blowing them up immediately on the factory assembly line and laughing so hard about it, which is exactly how I play Minecraft. We do a bit whenever we watch the Zelda cartoon with my server for our Abridge series, where every time a villain laughs for no reason we could discern, we all have to respond, I get it.
Yeah, it's also, why did DK look into the camera the Office style at one point?
Oh, DK wants to fuck you. That's why.
Yes.
Yay.
Well, DK just always does that.
Yeah.
DK knows you're watching the show.
It's like a Sonic.exe. He's begging for you to get him out of the show.
It's Donkey Kong knows that you're staring at his Dumpy Kong.
As it turns out, every copy of the Donkey Kong Country TV show is personalized.
Yay!
Because of the part where Donkey Kong looks at the camera and says your full name.
Yeah.
Your name, your address, your IP address.
And then says that he's coming to your house to sleep with your dad.
Also, Junior Claptrap, I don't know why, I feel like he would have scared the shit out of me when I was a kid if I had seen this then.
The actual enemies in the game are scary, that he's the Junior Claptraps.
It also ends with him saying that he will eat Donkey Kong one day. And since I didn't know it was a TV show, that's just all I'm left with.
I actually thought that he ate Scurvy and the pirates at first until it showed them on the island. It was like,
you know, okay, so that specific episode is a time loop because that is the first episode with Scurvy, confusingly enough. But it opens with Cranky saying,
But you're stranded on a desert island. You're lost at sea. You were chomped by sharks.
Which is not how our previous scene with Scurvy ended. But since this is the first episode with Scurvy, that is how both the state of Scurvy before the episode and the beginning of the episode. So if you're just watching the Junior Claptrap episode, it is a kind of Groundhog Day type situation.
Yeah.
Interestingly, not included in the compilation is the other episode with Junior Claptrap where King K. Rool stole his teeth. He's got the one thing.
It's the perfect plot.
But in that episode, no one is like a captive audience who is stuck in a barrel and forced to listen to his song about wanting his teeth. So Junior Claptrap just keeps going, K. Rool, when can I get my teeth back? And he's just ignoring him, and it's the funniest thing in the world. And I'm upset we didn't complete the trilogy with an episode where Cranky steals Junior Claptrap's teeth.
Oh my god.
That would be good.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah, me too.
I gotta know how terrifying Cranky would look with Junior Claptrap's teeth.
Yeah, that's his new dentures. He forgot to brush his dentures before he went to bed.
It's like the fucking Simpsons episode where the turtle steals Grandpa's teeth.
This is the worst assignment we've ever had.
Worse than the time we were attacked by the flesh-eating virus?
Oh, he bit me with my own teeth!
No, this is much more irritating.
or the Rugrats episode where a goose steals Grandpa's dentures and starts chasing the babies with human teeth.
Good God.
Also, did I Gotta Eat sound a lot like Hungry Like the Wolf to anybody else?
Yes, it did.
I get kind of like I said, a little bit of Rockabilly vibes and a little bit of like AC/DC or Aerosmith type vibes.
I always just zone out during that song.
You always disassociate and stare into the distance and imagine you're somewhere else. And as this character we've never met before gets a solo number.
All right, I burned through all my notes. How about y'all?
I'm ready to go to bed.
And so, Charlie, Ray, we have a verdict on the show called Keep the Tapes. It's basically the equivalent of Disney Plus on this podcast. We have Donate the Tapes, which means that you'd recommend it, but you're not sure if you'd actually keep it or burn it. And that, which means just it's bad. What's your verdict?
Ray, do you want to go first?
I'm thinking. Because, I mean, it's stupid. It's fun.
Here's the thing. It's on YouTube.
For free.
Yeah, The Whole Legend of the Crystal Coconut. It's been on YouTube for like 10 years. It shows no signs of ever getting taken down. It's 90 minutes long. The top comment is when your girlfriend lets you pick the movie at date night. I think if you get the right audience together that wants to laugh at how Canadians were just giving full access to Nintendo's most iconic characters in the 80s and 90s with no oversight, you get the right crowd together, you can spend 90 minutes laughing. You could tap out early. You don't have to listen about wanting your teeth back. I guess donate the tape, but I mean, it is, again, we don't need to get this VHS tape. It's just available for free. You can watch it whenever. I would say burn the tape in regards to maybe watching the rest of the TV show. Ray and I have only sat through one episode of season 2. I don't think we're ever going to watch it anymore.
Burn season 2, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like season 1 is of such mixed quality. This is definitely like 4 of the best episodes of the show. I'm biased because they're the scurvy episodes. And it also gracefully has very little bluster. Sometimes there's episodes where it's like, and it's another bluster episode. And it's like, well, why are you guys going all in on bluster? He wasn't even into video games.
Yeah.
There's an episode where bluster becomes cool.
He becomes, what is it, Luster?
Exactly.
Yeah, something like that. I don't.
Lester Luster?
Yeah, something like that. It was really dumb.
So yeah, I'm gonna say donate the tapes overall. Like I said, it's fun for a bizarre movie night. I probably wouldn't watch it again, although I absolutely would watch Banana Slam again because that was amazing. But
thank you so much.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
I'm coming up with a new one. I'm keeping the tapes in a lab, contained, locked.
That's fair.
This needs to be studied.
I agree.
Yes, it does.
I can't put this in the donation box because of what a hazard it is.
That said, I do think this show needs to be preserved, if nothing else, for the memes and how bizarre
Oh, yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
I am putting this in the donation box as well. It was just hard to follow at times.
Yeah, someone needs to condense it into one story that still contains all the good songs, huh?
Tyler, if you put that in the donation box, that's how we're going to get COVID 2024.
No!
Fuck.
Yes, in our musical, we did basically take the best songs and then write one story that could utilize all of them. And my goal with that was like, I think these songs deserve to be in something better.
They do.
Yes.
They really do. Because you can tell that they really had to pull like some sort of narrative out of their ass, and it didn't work out. It just raised more questions than it did answer them.
Yeah, we gotta find somebody who can edit this down to like 45 minutes or something.
I mean, I did that with the musical.
There you go.
Yeah.
You did it perfectly.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
And also, you guys made it gay, which hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I would also donate it because it's a stupid movie and everybody should experience Junior Claptrap at least once.
Disassociate.
Yeah. I love the taste of a pirate ship.
Gotta get my teeth back. Gotta. He also sings, I haven't had a checkup in a century. Is he 100 years old? Was it this Scurvy who put his teeth in the crow's nest, or was it Quint Scurvy who first sailed to Congo Bongo Island?
Oh, God.
How old is Senior Claptrap?
I'm scared. This universe.
Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared.
So, Charley and Ray, thank you so much for joining us.
This
No
was so
problem.
much fun. Oh, my
yeah,
God.
Okay, should I plug?
Hell yeah.
Plug away.
Okay, so yeah, like I've been alluding to, one, go look up Banana Slamma Magfest on YouTube. It is our stage adaptation. In the Mario Kart app, I believe, there's a sign in New Dog City that says Donkey Kong Best Musical, and Ray likes to joke that that's a reference to us.
Yes.
But one of the crowning achievements of my life is that if you go to the TV tropes page for Donkey Kong Country, right at the top, it says there is also an unofficial stage adaptation, and then a link to this. And like, I've realized my whole dream in life is to be cited. Similarly, I'm all over the Gravity Falls wiki because of the podcast we did, Mystery
Hell
Shack
yeah.
Look Back.
Believe it or not, we still do not have a TV tropes page yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how that hasn't happened yet.
Neither does Mystery Shack Look Back, but yeah, we had Alex Hirsch on an episode. Alex Hirsch and Jason Ritter and Matt
Yes.
Chapman in
Yes.
character as
Yeah.
Strong Bad. all on one episode to talk about Cypher Hunt. And he told a story that had never been told before about a child who just happened to live in the town where he hid the Bill Cipher statue and just happened to see it walking through the woods and posted it to Reddit. And he paid this child to take it down in the middle of the night. And Alex had never told that story before. So now like that's listed on the Gravity Falls wiki and stuff, citing back to us, which is amazing. Also the 10 minutes where Alex brought Matt Chapman in character as the strong bad puppet dressed as Grunkle Stan on to surprise me.
Oh my God.
Is on the Homestar Runner wiki, the transcript of that interview, as well as Abridge Me Princess, which is my Zelda Abridged series that Ray wrote some jokes for and is in the new episode of as both Donkey Kong, as in NES Donkey Kong, as in Cranky Kong, as in a Banana Slamma crossover.
Yeah.
And Mega Man. Abridge Me Princess is my attempt at gender expression. I voice both the non-binary Link and the trans femme Zelda, and it is just my attempt to put myself on screen more than I ever had done before in the past. And when I leave this world, it will be projected on my tombstone. If you have an hour and 15 minutes, you could watch everything we've put out so far for WAMP, Abridge Me Princess abbreviation.
Well, you need to pronounce it like this. Abridge Me Princess.
For sure. But yeah, if you have an hour and 15 minutes, you can watch everything we've put out so far. An hour if you want to skip our improvised dub of Ridley Scott's Legend, where we make it the WAMP characters. But and within that hour, I think you could get to know me just as well as Ray does, who has known me for 18 years. Like, it is the Charliest thing ever, which was my goal. And I really think I succeeded because so many people who discover WAMP and fall in love with it and join our Discord are in their 30s and non-binary, and it's just I found a bat signal to find my people, and if you think you might be my person, you should watch WAMP. And
yes,
Ray is amazing, by the way.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Ray, do you want to plug yourself or should I?
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to plug at the moment.
Ray is a published Tezuka scholar.
Kinda, sure.
And that is why in a week from recording this, we are going to Tokyo to attend Rockfest, which is a festival dedicated to an obscure recurring character across Astro Boy and Tezuka's other works. It's fascinating, and if you want to learn more about that, you should follow Ray on Twitter, crabcake0455.
Yeah, I do post about that a lot.
Yes, and she's a fantastic resource to learn about this amazing world, as well as Princess Night, her favorite, is about a princess who is born as both a boy and a girl because there is a mistake in heaven and she was given two hearts. Yeah. And the dub, which is now available for free so many places, Crunchyroll, etc., was lost media for a while because NBC refused to air it in the 60s, 70s when Astro Boy was doing well, because it promoted a transsexual narrative. And it sure does.
It sure does.
Nice.
Very, very yes.
Also follow at Melon Crab, Ray's art Twitter. It's not updated that often, but it's got her voice acting, her digital illustrations, etc. She voiced Wendy in Kian Carlisle's recent Return to the Bunker, and there are some fully animated scenes with her as Wendy. Lips.
Oh yeah, I was in that.
Yeah, and it's got 1 million views. She is so cool, and she's my girlfriend, and I'm in love with her.
Awesome. All right, you can find me on Mission Breakout on Discord. You can find me Muppet Vision _3D on Letterboxd. You can find me somewhere. If you see me on Twitter, no, you don't.
You can find me as Neon Tails with 2 Z's on both Twitter and YouTube. And you can find me dropping a disco ball into a random jungle to watch animals fight over it.
Fuck yeah. All right, and as for me, you can find me on the usual spots, Tyler FG on Twitter, TylerFG96 on Instagram. And as for the show, you can find us on Twitter at channel_KRT, Channel KRT Podcast, all one word, on Instagram. And you can also check out our Discord server and our Facebook group, which you can find in the link tree in our Twitter bio. And if you want to help support us, you can check us out on Patreon, where we have exclusive minisodes, outtakes, and episodes of this very podcast at its earliest convenience, as well as our Ko-Fi, where you can buy our exclusive minisodes for $5 a pop, or you can just give us money, whatever you want to do. And of course, thank you to our pals Paul Spicknall, Tony Goldmark, Ashley Hines, and Chris Reyna for pledging to us the $10 level, and a huge thank you to our executive producer, Gomer.
All right, Channel KRT, gotta get it back. Get back to static.
It back.
Gotta stop it back, gotta loot it back, take it back.
Sorry, Donkey Kong. You're just not a draw anymore. Hey, he's still got it.